Hello, everybody. It's me, Susan Cook, with the Realtor Academy and EXP Realty. And I'm here today again with Kelly Wheeler, and we are bringing you another episode of Zillow Busting Tips and Tricks. Be a Zillow Buster, hashtag Zillow Buster. How you doing today, Kelly?
Man, I'm awesome. Awesome. Coming off a great weekend. My son got married to the love of his life. So we had I'm tired today. I'm literally physically worn out, but I'm generating leads because that's what somebody does when they own a business.
This is true. I've been lead generating the last 2 days nonstop.
Yep.
And I've got 2 closings in one business that I have and 2 new people in my downline at EXP.
That's awesome.
So I have been really busy now. That's not just in 2 days worth of work. It took me a little bit of momentum, but I do have a very robust database, and I have been mining that database, so
that's good.
It only takes just picking up the phone and making some phone calls and having the right thing to say, right?
It's funny you said database. This isn't really anything to do with what we're going to talk about, but there's 5 people listening right now. So I'll start by this. Got an email from a company. And if you're watching right now, don't take the time right now to go and look at it. I can tell you how much it costs. I'm not an affiliate. I just happened to talk with them today because to me, it's all about database. A successful real estate agent not only generates leads, works brand new leads. You start to work your database, your sphere of influence. That's super important as we build our business, because as we build our business, we're building our brand, and our brand will go before us. And at some point, it gets extensive enough that you're going to start seeing business come in just because of brand recognition. Now, having said that, there's a company called Reevaluate, not evaluate, but Reevaluate, like REVALUATE.com/scrubby, I think, like scrub, but scrubby. So I talked to them today, and they actually had me upload one of my older Gmail accounts that I used for years. And with their data predictive software, they found 2,800 contacts in there. And of those 28, their software said there were 30 in there that had a high probability of buying a house in the next 12 months. So what they do is they go in and scrub your database, and then they tell you, based on their smart data and their predictive algorithms, who there has been somewhere online giving out signals that they're interested in things that would preclude a home purchasing or a home listing mentality. And I thought that was it's scary, Susan. When you go online, yes, the amount of companies that retarget you. Mm-hmm. Today, I was checking out a couple pieces of software, and them son of a guns put a cookie on my computer, and probably 5 different sites that I visited today, including Inman, they showed up. Isn't that something?
Yeah, I mean, I have a subscription to Inman, so Inman has been something I've opened up quite a bit over the last 3 days, but that's another subject. All together, we're here to talk about
correct
CRMs and databases, and one of the ones that you and I excel at is KD Core, right?
That's correct.
So you have and I'm going to add this to our little group here. So Kelly sent me, we want to take one of these away. Yeah, there we go. All right. So Kelly was telling me today that he placed this ad in Craigslist. Now, tell me a little bit about this ad.
Okay. So for years, I've been kind of anti-Craigslist. I'm not a real big proponent of Craigslist, but people go on Craigslist to find homes. What's the differentiation? Every realtor out there is trying to put their homes on Craigslist. I mean, it is what it is. The problem is when you go to Craigslist and you look at a house, either for lease, for purchase, they all look the same. It's a picture of the front of the house. The ad copy will say 3-bedroom, 2-bath, move-in ready, location. I mean, all the typical generic BS. And what I've done through some real studying with gurus about utilizing Craigslist in a way that maybe other agents or for sale by owners aren't, is maybe find an attribute. Now, if you look right here, this is a house that's on a lake.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I put a picture of the dock, not the house. Why did I do that? I did that because when you go and look for houses and this one pops up with that whole page of houses that are available in that area, I'm the only house on there that has that picture. What do you think somebody's going to do when they're scanning? Their eyes are naturally going to go to this right here, and it's going to garner that attention. Also, if you look, I started with a price of $1. Why did I do that? Because I'm trying to be deceitful? No. I don't want to give. I want them to come to me for this information. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to see that this house is $285,000 or $300 and whatever. So it automatically pulls in the amount of bedrooms and square footage. And then I put best lakefront home under 166K. Now for our area, just so you know, Susan, a decent lakefront home in Lake County, Florida can be $350,000 to $500,000. Okay. So this was a deal. This particular Craigslist ad, and combining this with, and we'll look at that in a minute, the Facebook Marketplace, this particular ad got me about 25 free leads. Some of these leads, now listen, some of these leads right now are with my lender. One of these leads was a lady that saw it. She has to sell her home about an hour and a half away. So she's asked me to list her home. And then she wants me to find her another home that's very similar to this, but she needs to be able to put a dog, like a 8 kennel dog thing in the backyard because she has puppies. All of that from a free ad, right? Yeah,
you mentioned that last week.
Correct.
Right. So talk to me about what is down here at the bottom.
Perfect.
With these links. Okay.
So last week we talked about, and I'm not going to get into super detail today. You can go, guys, there's 9 of you watching. Go back and look at last week's video. It's both on Susan's workplace page. It's on mine, and it's also on my YouTube channel, the Kelly Wheeler Group. And Susan, what's your YouTube channel?
Mine is, I don't know. It's Metro Homes. I haven't looked at it.
It'll be on this video at the end. Just put a link to it on this video when we're done. But if you'll go look at the Kelly Wheeler Group, you'll see last week's 52 or 57 minute live that we did, and it'll have information on what I did here. But if you'll notice, this is a little different. Now, Susan, do you notice when you go back to that ad, you'll notice that there's very little information regarding the home itself. Instead of putting the traditional realtor stuff, this is a fantastic lakefront estate with blah, blah footage, this much. It's got Jen Air kitchen. It's got this, the yard, blah, blah, blah. What I did is I just gave them some hot points with things that draw their eyes. So if you scroll up to the top a little bit, you'll see there's little houses next to like best deal for lakefront home in Central Florida. There's a little house there. Mid-century real beauty. Newer roof, newer HVACs. I just put enough in there to whet their appetite, but I put a little picture in front of it, if you will, because I didn't want to give too much information. I wanted to draw their eye to it. But if you go down to the bottom, this is the magic sauce. The bottom, and you can do this with KV Core. It's just a little bit trickier. On the bottom, I said to get more details at current pricing and platform about this property and to search all properties in the area for free, go to my website. Now, when they go to that site, onesearch.net, it goes to the site that I get from the Pipeline Pro tools, but then it'll redirect them to my KV Core site specifically about that property, okay? Mm-hmm. Over here where it says 24/7 information hotline, once they click that contact info, it'll go to my Pipeline Pro number, and all they have to do is hit that extension. And if they want up-to-date information.
I see.
If they want to get it by text, it sends them directly to my KV Core site.
So but right here, right?
Yeah, the Pipeline Pro software, because it's attached to all the different carriers, once they text that, it captures the name of whoever owns that phone. It gives me their name and it gives me their cell phone. And then it tells me what property they were coming in at. So I have a database of whoever looked at whatever properties that I'm advertising. Mm-hmm. The reason I use that is it's for me, it's not about generating a lead. It's about conversion. And I'm still working out some of the kinks on the KV Core site. You know, we've got the smart number. Funny story about the smart number. I actually got a phone call today off our smart number, but it wasn't for me. It was a lady calling me about another EXP agent who they were closing today, and she hadn't gotten a document from him, and she couldn't find him. So I redirected her to state office. But my point was she came in off of our smart number. That's why I utilize a lot of the Pipeline Pro stuff when I do my online advertising. And here's a little fact, a little tidbit. Guys, if you are doing advertising right now on Facebook or anywhere, print and direct mail, make sure you have more than just your phone number and email address. You want lead capture on every direct mail piece, every postcard. So for instance, when you send that letter out, make sure you have somewhere on that letter, for more information, text this to that. For more information, go see my website at. For more information, watch my video at. I do all of that. You know, Gary Vanderchek said that video's king. I'm a big proponent of it. So all of my pieces that go out, I've created a special video for that with a URL. So it's just capturing things. We've already got somebody commenting, so let's see what they're asking.
Oh, it's just, hey, Danny, how you doing, buddy? So good to see you. He says, I just closed on a lakefront home listing in Fruitland Park, Picola Island for $320K. Lakefront homes are not cheap in both Kelly and my areas.
He's right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is amazing. And I have other tools that I use with KV Core to capture them in there. Like, I don't use the smart number for that very reason. I have a dedicated text to call feature. Text to call feature.
Correct.
And that's on slicktext.com.
That's a great one.
That just captures cell phone numbers, and then they go to a squeeze link, right?
Yep.
And you know, it was cheap. It was $49 a month, and it does work. And I use it for other things too, like, you know, for coaching tools or something like that. You know, I'll say you want to try to get more leads is one of the text codes that I have. But
Correct.
text codes do very well work. But and one of the other things that I use is Skylar 360.
Correct. So Bridget asked the question. She said, I did a demo with Pipeline Pro. It seems like a lot of tools are the same as KV Core. And Bridget, let me answer that by saying, yes, you have to be very selective as to what you spend. I'm a big proponent when I teach, when I bring agents in, when I partner with agents, that don't just buy everything. There's so much shiny gadgets out there. Just today, I've had 3 or 4 people come after me wanting me to purchase. Guys, today alone, if I would have purchased all the shiny tools, I would have been $3,000 in the hole, right? Yeah. So you have to be careful. And Pipeline Pro is not the only thing. I happen to like them because it's generating leads for me. As far as being similar to KV Core, yes and no. KV Core has squeeze pages. I use those squeeze pages. KV Core has the ability for me to generate IDX pages, whether it's single or multiple, so that I can use those for advertising. When somebody logs on to that KV Core page that I created on social media, it's going to ask them to register after 2 attempts. So those are all important. I take it a step further. This would be what I would call kind of marketing at the master's level. Anybody can generate a squeeze page. We have those at KV Core, and they're great. But statistically, people aren't going to take the time to register their information on that squeeze page. So they're going to be kicking off at a high rate. The Pipeline Pro tools that I use have about an 85% capture rate. We get nowhere near that with KV Core. With KV Core, we're going to be happy if we get 1 out of every 4 that will leave their information. So what I say is do what works for you. If you're budget conscious and you're already paying for KV Core, then continue to use that. But if you can look at other things that can integrate with and then complement, that's the secret sauce. It's kind of like KV Core is a chicken wing. Pipeline Pro is that hot buffalo wing sauce with ranch sauce. That's just kind of where it's at. So, I mean, I want to talk up KV Core as much as possible, because in the years past, we were paying $2,800 a month for Commissions Inc. And that's with an ad spend of like $800 a month, getting about 95 leads. KV Core on the open market is a $600 to $800 a month, machine. It's a phenomenal it's a phenomenal content management system, a CMS. But what I'm saying with Pipeline is it's an additional level of marketing designed for one thing and one thing only: to capture leads coming in at a higher rate. Because at the end of the day, if we can get contact information and name, we win the day. And it doesn't force them to, they're taking the second to text. People, believe it or not, people will text to call something before they leave their name, phone number, and email for something. Isn't that something? That's a true study. People.
It is true. It's true. They will do a code, and it could be just a series of numbers. But
that's correct.
A short code, they will text their cell phone number in there. And I have used it, and pardon me, love you guys, but realtors, they don't realize that when they text, and I guess I shouldn't reveal this, but when I was using the Get More Leads, I would just Google their cell phone number and I'd find the realtor, because I know my cell phone number is all over the internet.
Oh, heck yeah, mine too.
Yeah. So, whether they clicked forward or not, I had their cell phone number.
Mm-hmm. If you have their name and phone number, you basically just won the day, because now you can directly contact. And guys, you know what the difference between a cold call and a warm call is? When they leave me their cell phone number and their name, that's a warm call. That beats a cold call where I'm actually picking something up who doesn't have a relationship with me. That wins the battlefield all day long. So that's why I use stuff like that. But you just pulled up on the screen, and guys, I hope you can see it. I just started getting into Facebook Marketplace. Haven't really gotten into that because I do advertising other ways, but this is a way to do free lead gen. And can I tell you, the Facebook Marketplace leads that I'm getting are very good quality. And guys, you can be doing this for free. You can YouTube any video you want on how to put a Facebook Marketplace ad, guys, and within 5 minutes, you can be an absolute professional. But I put on, for those of you that are now watching, if you'll go to my marketing page, most of you are part of my marketing page, marketing, social media, and lead gen page on Workplace. You're going to have files that I put in today that have a copy of the Marketplace ad and the Craigslist ad. Just copy it. And if you don't have Pipeline Pro Tools, just use your KV Core Smart number. And if you're advertising a home at 123 Smith Avenue, make your link 123 or 123 Smith. That's your text to code. Make sure that that's on the ad. Don't give too much information, and make sure that you're not putting the very front. If you'll notice on this Workplace or the ad that you're showing right there, Susan, it's the swimming pool. Okay. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says, have your next swimming pool party here. Now, I can tell you right now, if you go to Facebook Marketplace, there's not one home ad like that. There's none. It's usually, new home available in Acme City, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. There's none that's like that has that type of sophistication with lead generation. So, guys, if you're out there on Marketplace, don't just post it and think, what is that movie? They said, if we'll build it, they'll come. Well, if you build an ad, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come. What you need to do is get proficient and craft and create that ad so that there are things in that ad that will draw them, capture them, and make them do a specific action above and beyond just signing up for your website. We've all been there. How many of you have gone to a website and it asked for your information and you kicked out? But then how many of you saw a special on Facebook, an advertising special that just wanted you to leave your, here, text this number to this? All of us have done it. So that's why I use those two. And I can tell you right now, in 5 years of lead generation for buyer leads, that Facebook Marketplace ad right there has been the strongest ad I've ever created and has generated more leads in 24 hours than anything else I've done paid on either Google pay-per-click or Facebook lead generation using Facebook lead ads, Facebook, other types of Facebook advertising. That right there. And guys, that is on my Workplace site. You can download a copy of this ad and just go to town with it. But those are two areas I would definitely concentrate on if you're looking for free buyer leads.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, and it's powerful. I've gotten a lot of leads. I closed a $463,000 house off a similar ad with a landing page on marketing.
There you go.
People will contact you through Facebook Messenger before they will call you, text you, and so you need to have some kind of way that you can quickly send them to your squeeze link that's going to capture their information.
That's
so,
right.
you know, and you've got their Facebook profile, but you want them to register on your website.
Correct.
So that's one of the reasons why I created the slick text, but I'm also thinking of some other ways that I can do the slick text.
Well,
yeah.
This Facebook, you're talking about Messenger. Guys, when you go to Facebook Marketplace and you put an ad like this together, can I tell you that once the ad goes live, if it's done as good as this, my Facebook Messenger starts going off chain. Hey, can you give me more information? What's more? Now, here's the other thing, guys. Whenever you go to Facebook Marketplace and you do an ad like that, as soon as you hit publish, it says, would you like to publish it to more? This is why you guys got to be actively joining buy-sell groups. Like do 5 to 8 of these a day. So go into Facebook to search for groups and search for every buy-sell group, every community group you can find within 35 miles of your address, and join all those groups. Once you join all those groups,
you some of the groups that and this was part of the course that I taught. And now I just incorporated what I'm doing into my coaching clients.
Correct.
So if you see right over here, let me pull my groups up real quick, and it's going to run slow because we're talking live. But
and while you're finding it, Danny, you're right. People will chat with you all day on Messenger, but won't take a call. But see, when you're on Messenger, and tell you what works for me. Hey, Sally Sue, thanks for reaching out to me. That house that you called me on is absolutely adorable. Man, there are so many different things that can help you save tens of thousands of dollars. Can you let me know when you can take a 5-minute call where I can introduce myself and maybe share with you a little bit about it? We don't have to go and look at the house, Sally Sue. We don't need to get in the car. I just want to be able to answer any questions you might have. And you know what? They'll respond and say, you know what? I can take a call after 5. Now that's no longer a cold call. That's a warm call. And they respond like that, Danny, all day long to me. That's usually what I lead off with when I have them on Facebook and Messenger. I ask them if I can call them.
Well, fiddle-dee-dee. It's well, you can see over here on the left-hand side, you see all those groups right there? These are my groups that I have created, that I am active in big time. So I have 55 plus Nova Communities, Real Estate Lady Boss, Amazon Relocation to Virginia, HUD and Auction Homes in Virginia. Hashtag Zillowbusters. That's my group, you know, for agents and everybody else who wants to have tips like this that Kelly and I are laying down here. And Ashburn Broadlands, that's a local group. That was my rev share group that's now been moved to Workplace. But you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I own, and I am the one in control of where those ads are, you know, who is posting in there and what they're doing. And they all, you know, they all are for a specific niche, and it's something that I'm growing. But I did it specifically because I wanted to have more buy-sell groups that I could post to. And hi, Ernest, I saw you down there. I want to just give a shout out to, since we're talking about Facebook Messenger, I want to give a shout out to Ernest Enrique. Ernest Enrique is a very talented.
He's the bomb diggity man
when it comes to Facebook Messenger bots.
Matter of fact, I think I'm using one of his services on my bot. If you go to my website for KV Core, if you look at my website, there's a messenger that clicks up on the page when it initiates, and I got the code from him on that. So big shout out to him, man. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, he is awesome. But he has developed a new messenger bot that actually starts to ask your contacts questions about, are you ready to buy or sell, you know, and he called it Chatty Amy. And that kind of, you know, I remember Chatty Cathy. I have a Chatty Cathy doll. I don't know if you remember Chatty Cathy, Kelly.
Yes, I do.
So I was like, oh, I just love that. I wonder who Amy is in Ernest's life. But if you're in EXP, you know, look up Ernest Enrique. He is out in the Washington State area, and he really is a dynamic leader, a power KV Core user, and he is always innovative in his technology experience. He creates his own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with this chat bot, he's going to start offering it to others. So shout out to you there, Mr. Enrique.
So Danny made a good comment. Let me back up just a second. Then I want to get into how to generate free seller leads, because if you're with me, you really want to hear what I'm getting ready to do. But Danny, you had mentioned about belonging to 60 groups. You and I both, Danny, kind of took on some of the training a couple months back with that the Buzz group. So when you're on Facebook Marketplace and you do a posting for a home, Facebook Marketplace then says to you, would you like to share this with groups? Now, here's what I found, Danny. If they're asking you if you want to share that particular property on all those groups, they're not going to shadow ban you. But if you actually go in and post this manually to a bunch of groups, Facebook is starting to tighten up what they're allowing to be shared because so much spam gets through. Everybody's selling their Viagra and their weight loss pills and their newest this, that, and the other, that Facebook is like, But if you do it through Marketplace, you're not going to get banned. At least at this point, they're not doing that because they created this platform and they're asking you, do you want to share this? So, Danny, I hope that helps. If you create an ad through Facebook Marketplace, and this is going to come up. You don't have to just do your listings. Now, I understand with EXP, we can't go and do an open house for somebody outside of EXP, and I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about EXP a lot today because I want to broaden this out to people that are non-EXP as well, because this works for any real estate agent. But I want to share this. I did talk to Legal Hotline here in the state of Florida with the MLS, and they told me that you can't actually advertise another agent's home on social media sites and Craigslist as long as you give credit to that agent. So when I do take or borrow a listing, there's two ways you can do it. You can put it out there if it's live on the MLS, but you tag that agent's name as the listing agent somewhere in the bottom of the ad. Or if you want, you're not comfortable with that, contact the agent directly. Hey, listen, you've got Mr. Like Danny. Hey, Danny, you've got a home over there on Picola Avenue or Island in Fruitland Park, and that's a beautiful home. You've listed it. Obviously, you want to sell it. Would you mind if I include that in my advertising for the next 3 weeks? I would love to expose your home to my buyers. Are you okay with that? If he emails you back, then you're double covered. But typically, if you put it out there, you can do it as long as you give credit to the listing agent. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So those are two avenues you guys can start getting buyer leads right away. And guys, whenever I have a listing, I can't tell you how many buyer leads I generate off of the sign out front because of the riders that I put on with these text to call numbers. I literally have people drive by my signs and use the text to call, text 123 Smith Avenue to blah, blah, blah number to get free pictures and pricing on this home. I got them in. And you don't believe how many people are not represented, Susan, that call off of my signs. It's awesome. I can generate anywhere from 10 to 20 new buyer leads for free off of each listing that we put a sign in the ground. Isn't that great?
That's awesome news, man, because, for a long time, sign calls were like dead, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's going to have a resurgence as more and more people are, they're searching online and then they're doing drive-bys.
Oh, heck yeah. We're seeing a lot.
Yeah. I'm amazed at some of the, some of the education that I used to have to do 15 years ago with my clients. I told them, I said, look, you're not quite ready to buy yet. We're still working on some of the financial side of your purchase. I want you to start going to open houses.
Correct.
And then tell them that Susan Cook is your agent and they'll not bother you.
Correct.
Okay. So just tell them Susan Cook's your agent and give my phone number, my email address. I don't care.
Give them a couple of your cards. Say, make sure you have my cards with you as they're going. If I have a buyer, I automatically give them 15 of my cards. I got 2,000 of them. And I tell them, if you happen to be out without me, just give this card to that builder or that open house agent and let them know that you're represented. And then have them contact me with the specifics. Because here's the thing, Mr. Buyer. I'm going to negotiate for you the best price. He's going to negotiate for his seller for the best price. Which one do you want to deal with? And then just leave it at that. I mean, it is what it is. So here's the question asked for those of you that are watching right now, and those of you that will watch us after we end the live video and it goes on to Facebook and it goes on to YouTube, what are you doing right now, agent, to structure your week? Because here's what I know. If you don't have structure in your week, then you're playing real estate. But if you have structure in your week, you are practicing real estate. And what do I mean by that? If you have a schedule of Monday to Friday, and I like to work Monday to Friday. If I work on the weekends, I had a guy call me up Sunday and wanted to go look at a house, and I declined it. It was Sunday. I'm with my family today. Now, if I was starving and struggling, I got it. I understand. But start to act the way you want your business to run. Don't let your business run you. You run the business. So come up with a schedule, and just something real simple. Monday through Friday, 9 to 12 is lead generation. That's when you're putting ads out. That's when you're on social media. That's when you're creating content to put out there. That's when you're doing video. That's what, well, we'll get to the phone in a minute. So 9 to 12 is where I'm doing my lead generation, not lead contacting. Now, if somebody calls me off of a lead, 5 minutes or less, I'm on the phone with them. And if they don't answer, guess what they're getting, Susan? Hey, this is